Hi, my name is Ashley Molin, and I have had so much fun taking these assessments and learning about myself, but I've also had a lot of fun reading and viewing others and their presentations and learning about how different maybe they are from me, and their strengths and weaknesses. And it's been really enjoyable to kind of see how it takes all kinds of people in leadership and management. Ocean results were not a surprise, but it was nice to see it all laid out like this. I feel just in my work environment and even within my friendships, I'm pretty even. I'm equal parts probably introverted, extroverted, maybe leaning towards a little bit extroverted. I like to say I'm an introverted extrovert. When people ask, because I just can't confidently say that I'm an introvert and I'm also not an extrovert. So I'm pretty agreeable. I'm also strong-minded. It just depends on the subject, who I'm talking to. I feel like one of my strengths is being able to read a room and kind of be self-aware. Maybe if someone that knows more than me is speaking, I would be more agreeable than having strong opinions. The two places I am pretty one-sided on. I'm an open book. I think that's one of my strengths, but also can be a weakness in the workplace for sure. Not everyone appreciates that, wants that, or feels comfortable giving that same energy, and it really depends on who you're working with. I am a lot more mellow than nervous. I like to say at my job, especially when hiring new people, that we're saving PDFs and not lives. We're not doctors trying to save a life. We're just kind of saving PDFs, and not that that's not important, but any mistake that we kind of make it has a solution, it has a resolution. But some people run more nervous. They want things an exact way, a very analytical way. And I do think that is one of my strengths, but it's also one of my big weaknesses. At times, I find that I'm much too mellow. I may be too relaxed. Little details get missed, or honestly, it's just not a great fit for others that are working with me sometimes. And I think that it could be an annoying trait, especially to someone that is analytical, wants to do things a certain way, and leans more on the nervous side of things. My Strength Finder results were not surprising, however, very interesting because I did take this, I believe, in 2019, and my results were different. And I have to remember that was 6 years ago now, and a lot has changed just in me in growing and also my place at work. So it was interesting to get my new results and see that they were quite a bit different, but still had some of the same themes. So my number one was positivity, and I do think that's accurate. I think I joke a lot that I was the personality hire. I do like to come into work and just be positive, and not in a fake way, but I'm just naturally upbeat. I really like teamwork. I like having a group together. I'm kind of a coworker and friend gatherer, if you will. So that makes sense that that was my number one. I do also see that sometimes, depending on the group setting and the work setting, how it could be really annoying. To have someone that's always upbeat when others want to focus and kind of dial in, and there is definitely a time for that as well. My second was developer. I do think I cultivate the potential in others. I really like leading a small group and checking in with individuals and kind of helping set their goals, and just seeing them grow is probably the most rewarding thing for me. But that also can get in the way of actually getting work done and remembering that I'm hired for a specific role, a specific task, and regardless of personalities and personal wins, we do have tasks and goals that have to be met for my company. I'm super adaptable, so that was not a surprise that that was there. Sometimes I'm too adaptable. I kind of go with the flow, which can be great on projects, but it also can lead to things taking a little longer when we have deadlines and being too relaxed, as I said before. I do think that I have a lot of empathy. I can sense other people's feelings pretty well. I'm pretty good to be able to read the room that I'm in and kind of the vibe that others are putting out. The negative to that is sometimes I'm sensing too much of that and I kind of let that sidetrack me instead of understanding that although there are, feelings and imagining myself in their shoes, we do have a task, and I do think that can tend to get me a little sidetracked where I worry about or I care about those things maybe as a focus instead of a secondary thing. Futuristic, that was probably the most surprising to me. I do love looking at the future, thinking about the future and potential, but I didn't kind of see that as one of my strengths. I also can see how that would be a weakness just in the fact that, again, there are tasks that need to be done now. And if I'm always looking to the future and the fun, exciting things that we could do, it may take away from the things that we need to get done right now and are kind of immediate needs. For listening if you got through that entire presentation. Any feedback that I could get, especially if maybe you have a different personality than me, but you have experience or any advice to someone like me that works with someone maybe with a different personality? Is there anything that I can take and work on or hone in to not overwhelm someone that I'm working with or not be too chipper or too open? Any little things. I think I'm always looking for feedback and how to improve. Thanks.